In the last video, you learned how to plan your website by setting clear goals and answering essential questions on each page, including the home, about, and services page. Now, before you get started on designing your new website, there are a few essential steps to take and plugins to add before that. The first thing is plugins. First plugin to install is CProd, so you can set up your coming soon page. This will be the first thing people see when they head to your website. Next is Akismet to block spam in the comments and contact forms. This will go with Jetpack, which is the next tool. This plugin takes care of basic security settings, image compression. The next one to download is a security plugin. You can try Solid Security, which used to be called iThemes, or you can try WordPress. Once you install the plugin, configure the settings and activate the two-factor authentication or 2FA. And this is just an extra step you take when you log in to verify it's you. Next one might be handled by your web host, but if you want something extra for monthly backups, rollback and restore, and to quickly update your plugins and themes with one click, you can try Manage WP, especially if you have more than one website, or if you want to integrate Google Analytics, you can set that up and get monthly reports. For a contact form, you can try WP Forms or Ninja Forms, or if you use a CRM like Honeybook or Dubsado, you can use that instead. I'm using something called Tally, and I've used this before I had my WordPress website set up, so I'm going to stick with it. But it has contact form, feedback form, lead generation form, newsletter sign up, freelance quote form, and more. For designing your website, if you want to keep it simple, you can install Gutenberg plugin, which is a block editor, and I use this for a simple design for pages like the privacy page, resources page, and blog posts. Use page builders like Elementor and Beaver Builder for more fancy designs. The Yoast SEO plugin helps you optimize your blog posts and pages with the right keywords. This is optional, but you can use Pretty Links to shorten your links with your domain name. You can use it just like you'd use tinyurl or bit.ly. You can also use it for affiliate links. So instead of the long URL they give you, it can be yourdomain.com/Notion if you're using a Notion affiliate link, which is easier to remember. For Jetpack, hover over here and head over to Dashboard. Make sure to turn on brute force protection. And this is to avoid several login attempts. Downtime monitoring, so you get a new email notification when the site is down, and the image accelerator, which compresses the images under media. Under settings, under the security tab, make sure to enable firewall, and then under performance tab, enable site accelerator and speed up image load times. Under writing, enable this to copy the blog posts and pages, so you can create a template for your blog posts and copy that when you're ready to write a new one. For sharing, you can add the sharing buttons to your posts and pages. And then under traffic, you can turn on related posts, and this is what you'll see under each blog post. Next up is settings, so hover over settings and then general. Here you'll add your site title, your tagline, upload your image icon. Then under reading, you should already have your home page and blog page set up. So you can add your home and then select your blog for here. And you can choose how you want each blog post to show up here. Make sure to uncheck this. It can show up under search engines. And here is a related post again from Jetpack. Under permalink, choose post name. For privacy, you can create a new privacy page here, or if you already have yours set up, choose the privacy policy page that you created. Under users, click add new user, and here's where you will set up a new user account. So you add your username, your email, generate a password, and set this role for administrator, and then add new user. Once you have that set up, you'll get a notification where you verify your account. And then when you log in, you can come back to users to delete the admin account. Deleting the admin account is a good idea because hackers will try to log into your account under the usernames like admin, test, or your domain name. Those are the first ones they'll try. So it's a good idea to delete that username account. If there are other people that need access to your account, you can set it up as editor or author. Now you're all set up and ready to start designing your website. Next up, top tools for your brand and business, including ones to manage your clients, projects, content, files, and all that good stuff. Check back here to watch this video.